President-elect Trump thanked Ford Motor Company on Twitter this morning for abandoning plans for a new plant in Mexico and creating 700 new jobs in the U.S. He went on to write, "This is just the beginning, much more to follow." This, of course, marks a change in Mr. Trump's view of Ford. The automaker is among several companies that he has negatively targeted in the past. Boeing, Amazon, Apple, and Carrier have also been subject to his criticisms on social media. CBS News financial contributor and president of Ariel Investments, Melody Hobson, is in San Francisco with more on the impact Mr. Trump has had on those businesses. Melody, Ford is among a string of companies. We just mentioned some targeted by President-elect Donald Trump. Is corporate America worried about being singled out by him?
Absolutely. The Trump tweet is now the thorn in the side of corporate America. There's a lot of concern, growing concern about being targeted, being in the crosshairs of Trump. What really concerns corporate America is the idea that it is unexpected. You can't anticipate it. You don't know what it'll be. Normally, there are back channels between corporations and the government. And in this situation with the tweets, there are times even the staff doesn't know what he might do. And so as a result of that, that puts corporate America on their heels in the defensive in these situations. And that's never what they want to be.
Yeah, you mentioned so much unknown. So what can companies do if they are targeted by President-elect Trump?
Well, a number of the companies that I talked to said the most important thing that they're doing is treating this as a part of their crisis management and preparation that they have when they're in a crisis. In the event that they get in these crosshairs, they would view it as such. Not too different than if there were some kind of natural disaster or if there were some kind of health scare, that it's in that same realm now, this idea of being in a Trump tweet. There was a very, very smart executive who gave me three perspectives that they had of what they're doing. First and foremost, to understand at the beginning what the strengths and vulnerabilities that they have, or what are the strengths and vulnerabilities that they have around key policy initiatives that he has. Secondly, to think about preparation and speed. Have a clear and quick protocol for dealing with a tweet should it happen. And here it was interesting. They made the point that don't just think about the regular and the practical. Think about anything being tweeted or anything can happen. So you've got to stretch the realm of possibilities. And last but not least, make sure you have the platforms that you would use to communicate in the event that you have to combat or respond to one of these tweets. You have those platforms already identified. Is it Facebook? How would you maximize Google to get your story out very, very quickly and the facts as you see them out to the reader?
Prepare for the unexpected seems to be sort of that bottom line there for some of them. So Ford had the decision that we heard yesterday about abandoning plans for a new plant in Mexico. Does that set a precedent?
Well, certainly with Carrier and Ford, where they've abandoned these plants, it does set a precedent. The question is, what was the impetus for it? And we won't really know. You know, on the one hand, you could say maybe they were trying to curry favor because there is a bigger game to be won. When you think about the big three auto manufacturers, they have a lot of regulatory issues that will exist. There will be a lot of regulatory issues around autonomous vehicles that they want to ultimately have on the road. So maybe they're thinking that is a game changer for them. Ford is thinking, we're playing long ball here, we make concessions. It's unclear, but certainly there's this sense that these concessions might be helpful, and it'll be interesting to see if other companies follow suit.
Quickly, before we let you go, is Donald Trump's tactic of publicly criticizing these companies effective?
Unclear. So it's too early. We've only seen a handful of companies. We've seen a couple of them respond in terms of changing their policy or backtracking on what they said. You know, I had one executive say to me, I don't know if this is a real strategy that he is using or if this is literally just another version of cyberbullying, that he's shaming companies and in a way forcing them to react. So again, the jury is out. We do not know. The president-elect is not the president yet. We'll see how this plays out. But one thing is certain, the game has changed for corporate America. And as Warren Buffett, the greatest investor of all time, has been known to say, champions adapt. These corporations must adapt to this new world order in terms of the communications between what will be the White House and their ongoing business concerns.
Great advice for them. Melody Hobson in San Francisco, thank you for the insight.
Thanks.